Hello, this is Green Phantom. Today we're reviewing Cyber Knight Lahire, Thunder Model, by Thunder Model, also known as Hot Rod from Transformers 5, I think. Really pretty artwork and stuff. Bottom, I don't understand it, but anyone that can translate that, go ahead and read it if you wish. Pause it right there, but hey. Can't tell distance. Anyway, so here's the minifigure he comes with. It's really nice. Fits in vehicle mode, which is pretty cool. And take this over here for some testing. You'll see I didn't cut the plastic over here, but I cut over here, and I opened it from here. So yeah, if I open this up real quick, you can see he has a bloosh effect, a mag, 2 guns he's currently wielding, and what you might be able to see there is a mirror in case they fall out. His instructions, I will display them open, by the way. Here's the instructions, this side, and here's the flip side. How is he car mode the whole time and then suddenly becomes a robot? I don't get it. But if you guys can understand that, cool. Now, main figure. I'm going to do a little cleanup with the other hand. And yes, I finally don't have to do those one-handed reviews again. So here's a figure. I posed him because I can.
Steve, he's fine.
So yeah, here's the gun. Here's the gun. Now, loose. So for this copy I have, he has loose knees. Ankles are loose. And this likes to pop off from time to time. It's tiring, but if you can tolerate it, fine. That's cool, dude. Now, I noted for this figure I have right now, one of the funniest issues I think I've ever gotten from a Transformer is this. Don't want to stay in place. That's funny. But, nonetheless, it's pretty cool. Because I ended up getting the figure. His face looks sort of pretty. Neck can rotate full 360. Arms full 360 as you saw. In and out movement. And if I stop popping that joint out, that's not a joint. That's actually transformation only. Full levels of movement. On the elbow. Wrist can go in and out, rotate. Fingers are articulated, but you can see right now he's holding his guns. We'll display now.
Steve, you don't have to look at this.
I know, cameraman. Or should I say Lurch from Central Abyss. Now.
Yeah.
Articulated fingers.
Yep. All the fingers can articulate, just like he said earlier. They have motion in all 3 joints and can hold the weapon.
Yep. I just find this weird, though, if you want to pose him like this.
Well, you cannot. Well, that's also probably because you're supposed to roll the fingers and then have his thumb like that, and he does a thumbs up, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
that is a food for thought, though.
But
you can also point.
Yep.
Which is kind of nice.
So, now let's get on to the rest of the review, Steve. Yeah. Or
Green Phantom.
Green Phantom, as you are.
Yes, I know it. I know it's easier to remember that, sir.
Now,
also, if you've seen this already, got door wings, really pretty. Whole backside. Knees, as you saw, can bend really far. Inward movement, toe joint.
Beware, there are some parts that you can tighten, so
yes,
if you do really believe that you like the figure, you can tighten the joints with a Phillips head.
Right here. Right here's for the knee. This part, I think, is for the shell, if you need that info. But these loose. They like flopping, which I find ludicrous because, well, as you can guess, it just seems funny that his chest likes to fall apart. Now, I get the gun out of his other hand. And yes,
pew, 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 pew,
he has
pew,
2
pew,
guns.
Pew, pew.
And I know he wanted to make a meme, apparently.
Yeah, sorry, I made the Doom meme. Doom is one of those games that's just really common.
Yeah, he likes games and he likes Nerf guns for his little channel. Also, if you took note of this, these are the same guns, just this thing has a timepiece on it. Wow. For my copy of this anyway, I don't understand why this clips onto the gun. In terms, it basically makes them both a submachine gun, and it's basically just, this should be a separate piece, and then you get 2 of these, and then it'd be, clip it on whichever the heck one you want to be his time gun, and then use that kind of thing.
Or you can just take them.
Or you can just, like, take them both and have pop this piece off, right? And then have 2 subs, like submachine guns, and have one of them have a mag and the other doesn't. You know what I mean? And you also have them have, one of them can have a bloosh effect. There's only one. As you saw, though, the lady over here does fit in the vehicle mode. I'll remind anyone that didn't pay attention.
Also, and anyone that doesn't know this, she does have articulation in her... Whoa, Steve. Green Phantom, hold up. I'm trying to get her in camera view.
Cool.
Yeah, she does have articulation in her knees, in her hips, and halfway in between her arms, and also on her head.
Head doesn't have it, dude. It's fully
At
molded.
least.
That you remember, that you know. Head doesn't move. It's all molded together.
Okay, well, at least the arms and legs move, so it makes it easier to put the figure in the car.
Because where the head poses, just stays posed, makes it really easy to not accidentally knock it off. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Those, like, old figures.
by the way, does have screws that do allow for either tightening or just holding the figure together.
I'm sure it holds the figure together. These are visible screws, so no one being disappointed getting the figure and you get this. Dude, really? Cut it out, you. Lurch, that is not funny.
That's stupid.
Cut that cat out.
Yeah, I know. It's a joke.
Anyway.
But, something that you will want to know is, yes, the figure, the little one, is really fudging tiny in comparison to the actual Transformer. Be wary.
Showing out that back because the guy like messing around. So, this is a figure scale.
Yeah.
No, this is not a hard surface, so you're going to see a lot of...
It's not going to be completely accurate, but... You can
be
kind of
accurate
see
enough for you to like see. It's like
she goes almost
cow,
up to his
shin.
knee. She almost goes up to the kneecap, just barely under.
That
it,
is
so,
like short, but hey,
not super tall.
Now,
but even though,
I will demonstrate transformation if he gets it ready. So start up. Now, if you guys prefer this, I don't mind if you guys don't do it, but you guys transform whichever side you want first, but. For me, I personally prefer him in this kind of stance. Slightly flexing, like he's showing off. You know what I mean?
Or just putting his hands up because he's
just putting his hands up or under arrest or whatever you want to say. Bend these in, straighten out fingers. Do this in simultaneous, for both of them.
Do this in perfect mirror imaging, by the way.
Now, for the back of his arms, pop that out. You'll see it tabs into the side of his arm. This is going to be the front wheels, as I'll say now. Now, one thing I did not address yet for the articulation, because I thought it was ridiculous, because it's funny, is if you want him looking all the way up, he looks kind of dumb like that. If you want him some reason like that, or if you're looking at him use one hinge if you want him looking up or down, this works out real nicely, but if you go, like, over, he'll look really derpy. Like this. It just looks really dumb to me. But if you guys like it, whatever. Your choice of whatever you want. You display them however you want. I took note I could do this whole time. So, if you've been watching the channel, you'll know I'll transform Transformers. Or, if you didn't know this already and you're just new, keep in mind... I transform Transformers however the heck I want, and I don't give clear instructions on exactly how. I just do it however I feel like I should do it, if you guys know what I mean. You're free to choose the transformation method you use. I just do it like this because I generally get bored and I just want to just do it real quick. You know what I mean? When you're just trying to do it as fast as you can. And you just don't care what kind of flops around. He's a little floppy during transformation, but that's only optional. If you like dorking around with formers like I do. Because I'll generally just play around and dork around. It's fun. I like to play with these guys. I like transforming them. I like posing them. I like all kinds of stuff with them. The one thing I didn't try, though, is, well, displaying them in the air. Reason why I don't want to do that is because I don't want to accidentally have them fall off. Any of you guys have tried it, let me know in the comments section. I don't know which way it is anymore because, well, as you can probably guess, everything's changing on YouTube again, and it's tiring because I don't know if it's below, above, or around. But you guys can go ahead and find it. Subscribe if you want to be a new one to the channel. Also, if you've noticed during that little flint of transformation, notice that all the tabs and stuff fell apart. It all fell apart. In kind of a really, really satisfying way. Also, I know this part has a lot of issues when transformation, but the legs, I've heard a lot about them. I kind of don't mind it because I like really complicated transformations because, well, it's more fun to me. Because I get to mess around with the transform whatever I want first and stuff. So, start off, generally you do this. Okay, so you get the panel out. It'll pop out this way. This will unfold and rotate. If you've seen it like that, pop out. Flip this out. Now take it. Because this does this weird thing where his crotch completely, like, aligns with his back, which looks weird. Align this forward. Like he's taking a step back. Go over to his leg. If you see on the back, you will see that I pull on the tab because it gives me the most leverage, and I use less energy for it. Pull this out first, push this down next. Rotate. Tab it in over here on the tab over here, if you can see it, right there. Line it with this little section in there, if you see it. Now for the outer part, flip this out. Keep in mind, this likes to fall apart for some reason. Bend this out so the hook's out of the way. I like rotating it this way. You can rotate it this way. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter which way you rotate it. It's got to make sure it all lines up correctly. Otherwise, it's not going to move right. But this moves either way. It'll get stuck from time to time. But it rotates full 360 if you want it to. And this I've already messed around with where I just flop that for reasons because it looks really dumb. But after you mess around with that, bring this up, have it all together. Now, if you have issues with this not clearancing, probably because you got to bring down up the toe, so it will clearance.
Clear the gap, by the way.
Yeah, if you didn't know that. You may try fixing my language on what I should be saying. Now, at first, it may seem like I'm just not really doing it right. Maybe. To those who own the mold, but this mold of, like, Transformer, like, this one's similar to the original DX9, if you've ever heard of that one. I will say, he looks cool and stuff, but this is the Cyber Knight, if you didn't see it on the box already. I'll bring up those toes because it gives more clearance for the other foot to pass.
It kind of does look like he's kicking himself in the butt, though.
Yeah, it may look like it, but he's in reality not, dude. So Lurch, he's not actually doing it. From time to time I'll do that because, well, reasons. Spin out. Boop. Flip. Flip. Yeah, I generally transform them pretty quick. I'm just slowing it down for the review. And no, I did not rush myself with the review. I have had this guy for up to a month. I will say, though, he is a fun figure once you get all the parts and stuff aligned. If you guys know what I mean. If I don't forget any steps, if you also know what I mean by that.
Anyone who owns this figure will probably realize that he is kind of going slow on purpose. You will also note that he will be spitting some information about some other figures that he has also reviewed on and looked at before deciding on getting this specific figure,
For this one,
so just be wary that he chose this because of his own desire to have this one, and also because he thought it would be
looks like
actually
his back
entertaining.
is busted.
So
yeah, if you guys followed through, you can go ahead and like pause it at like certain parts to follow it if you want to. That's up to you guys.
Or attempt to follow it.
Attempt to follow it if you wish, but I ended up, as I experimented with the transformation, just transform it however I wanted. It doesn't quite matter which way you go, as long as you make sure everything aligns right and nothing hits each other hard enough to break, you're fine.
Yeah, so as long as you make sure it's properly done.
Click it together.
While you're doing that, while you're transforming it without hitting parts together like really hard or damaging anything, you'll be fine. And it'll be pretty easy to transform as long as you are careful with it. So
if you saw this earlier, this is the elbow guard. This is where his elbow should stop at, right?
Right, which is the piece that you
makes up part of the front
out. So just be wary that piece does fit right there on the front hood.
Also, if you want to see this right now, you'll see, if you look in here, this is a tab, this is a tab. They'll go into a slot and then that looks like to me a notch. When you get it moved around, you'll see it, if you can. The camera can see it. There's a tab slot right there. And then if I move my finger, straighten it out. There's a tab, It'll just
click into place.
Click into place on both of them.
And that is on both sides.
It's on both sides, by the way. So, real quick, another thing. That's really awesome. It's got an interior and everything.
So it does got an interior for the little character. And you can also open and close the doors. This will make it so that it's easier to take the character out, put the character in, and set them in places so that it looks like they're getting in.
Anyone noticed during the transformation, you'd have seen this, but on this side, on the inside right now, the thing holding this aperture together right here, if you see it right there, this aperture, if you saw this, and you saw the rivet holding it together, how it had dings and dents on it, but this seems pretty loose. That's because the thing fell off. Because it slammed twice into... It took a great fall twice. It fell twice. Once from my original shelf all the way to the floor, by the way. Character will fit. Just gotta angle them right. And make sure those knees aren't looking like they broke. Real quick, I'll display this real quick. I don't know why anyone would decide this is a good idea for a pose. Just looks like the character broke their leg. But, not my decision. However you want to display that, I don't care. Your toy, your display, you decide whatever you're going to do. By the way, no port to seat connection in here, so it's going to be like...
Probably just sitting
It's going to be flopping around in there, but I don't really care because it makes it more movie accurate. If you've seen the scene where Hot Rod dumps out the lady from his vehicle mode. By the way, his vehicle mode's really pretty, as you can see.
So, for obvious reasons for the camera, I will, after my brother is done.
Yeah, look. There's a spoiler on there, too, and it's adjustable. It's just, I took note, it's got really loose over time of me messing around with it. There's a screw back there. Based on a small schematic I looked at, it looks like if you tighten the screw a little bit, it will tighten up this. But right now, that screw's, like, machine tight. So it will be really difficult to move around.
Now, for my brother, I will be holding the figure from each side because I am also the cameraman. So, just to get a moderate look at each side. This is the side. This is, by the way, repeated on both sides. Just flipped around. This is what the front of the vehicle looks like. The back of his vehicle transformation. And the opposite side.
Also, to those...
It also looks really good, as my brother has mentioned, like this, really if pretty. You can see it in the picture.
Be careful, though. This is a metal look. So, anything really shiny on this figure is known, as I'll say, for fingerprint magnets. What those mean is that there are magnets where you can see them, where as soon as they touch them long enough, you'll be able to see the fingerprint. And they'll remain there as oil. Until you clean off the figure.
By the way, so you might want to make sure that you have some kind of anti-oil wipes so that every so often you can clean the exterior of the Transformer and
If you
any
want
fingerprint areas if you are very touchy or very, very
fiddly with
particular on how it looks and having no fingerprints. If not, then that's fine.
I'll also mention this now. Right here is known to be a big fingerprint magnet because it's easy to get oil trapped on the over here as well, and
on
right around here.
Any of the windshield ports.
All the windshield ports. By the way, I'll mention this now. This right here is actually a windshield. I did not realize that until
it does not look like it, but
it doesn't look like it, but it actually is.
It's actually kind of it's actually kind of common on supercars. So if you have ever seen real supercars, sometimes they will have windows right here that show off some of the mechanics of the car. So yeah, it is also kind of a magnet, just like he said. Now, just like he said earlier, there is
a spoiler,
a little fin on the back of the car.
So
now it's all the way maxed out.
I'll tell you this now.
So there you go.
The fins at the back of the vehicle, I remember them being called spoilers, but I don't know why they're called that. I would ask, like, also, by the way, this is the bottom. Wow, his hands really did not want to sit right.
So now this is going to be close to the end of the video.
Yeah, here's the bottom and stuff. Also,
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe to this channel if you wish.
If you wish to subscribe or you find this content interesting.
Wow. That's amazing how that even works.
By the way, the character will get thrown around in the interior unless you are displaying it.
Yes.
And sitting on a shelf. So
if it's sitting on the shelf, nothing's going to really move around unless you shake it. Like you just saw me do. That was good. That was just like the movie.
So this is the end of the review, and we will...
Goodbye, see you next video.
And you will see Phantom next time on his channel.
Yep, see ya. Have fun with any figures you got. Keep in mind, you don't always have to go for the expensive ones, because this guy wasn't that expensive. This is only a recreation of the DX9 the higher, if you ever seen that. Yeah.
Basically, if you don't want super expensive figures, you can get replicas of the expensive one, if you so wish, to make it cheaper on yourself, and to experience something similar to the actual figure that you're looking at. But it's all dependent on you, so see you later.
See you later. Have fun with any figures you got, and bye.
This is it on Phantom's channel, and for the visitor, me, Lurch from the Central Abyss. See you later.